Welcome to our podcast. I'm Stacey Donadio.
And I'm Shannon Fasone from Turnkey Women,
where we're opening doors for women in business.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Turnkey Women's Podcast. We are your hosts, Stacey Donadio and Shannon Fasone, and today we have with us in the studio Christine McKenna-Tirella from Asbury Park City Life magazine. We're so excited to have you. You launched your first edition.
I did. Literally, it arrived at my door this weekend.
Amazing.
And just before it arrived at my door, people started texting me because it was in Asbury already.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It was really, I was like, what do you mean?
Is it okay? Is it good? How to look? Oh, my God.
Well, I have to say,
Exactly.
it's beautiful. It's beautifully done. You have a wonderful photographer.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm lucky to freelance with a few people. Connor Keane is our cover guy. Cover guy. that sounds a little different than it's meant to.
What kind of magazine is this?
Our cover photographer this month. But I'm really lucky to work with a bunch of really
it's
talented
beautiful.
folks.
It really makes such a difference, obviously.
And it's not like the other the local publications we have around here. Not to name any names. They do well. They do support their communities. But this, I think, has some serious substance. Like, I would pick this up because I want to read the articles in it.
Yeah. So it's a mix of well, what I'm trying to do here, and I'm not to take away from any other magazine or newspaper, because everyone's doing a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah,
we
of course.
swim in our own lanes. We're not competition, right? Like, I'm apolitical. This is a lifestyle magazine. It makes you feel good when you pick it up.
Yes.
In November, you're not going to see anything about politics, right?
Praise Jesus.
And we can be into politics in another way, but that's not my magazine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I am into politics in other ways, but that's not my magazine. So what I love to say is, we're celebrating everything to do with Asbury and around that area. So, other people are focused on other stuff, and that's great.
And that is great.
Yeah.
There is so much to celebrate with Asbury. Like, I've talked about this before, how the rebirth of Asbury was literally at the time that I had, like, a rebirth in my life. And every time I see anything great happening there, and to put it all in one place, like, as a go-to for people who... I said the other day to somebody, like, oh, you want to meet someone? Go here. And someone else is like, yeah, that's not really where they want to go anymore. Like, when was the last time you went there for that
purpose?
And I was like, I don't know, like, when it opened? And they're like, a little different. And so I feel like I need this expert in a hand, and it's the perfect time of year for a good summer read on the beach where you're just getting enough good content and you still can enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. So it's a big undertaking, though.
Yeah. I mean, I started on this road kind of October, November last year.
Of 23.
Of 23. Okay. And City Lifestyle is a franchise. So what's great about that is that they help with a lot of the distribution and the headaches in and around that. They have a great CRM system. And I get to be on the ground, and I get to be working with the partners that are in the magazine. I get to be making sure that I'm really happy with that content, that we're really doing things that are current and on top of stuff. So that has been very helpful. I do not think I could have done it alone.
Right.
And certainly when I started on this journey, I had lots of people kind of approach me and be like, oh yeah, people try magazines in Asbury all the time, and people try magazines everywhere all the time. So I didn't take that on as a personal insult to me. I was like, cool. That's lovely.
That's lovely. And your point is?
Yes.
So tell us, how did you wind up in this world? Like, what was your journey like?
Yeah. So I'm Northern Irish. I've lived in the States since 2006. I was in New York for a long time. Yeah. And my wife and I moved full time to the shore 4 years ago.
Wow.
The pandemic, let's be honest.
Yes.
That's what finally brought us over. But we had already been kind of window shopping for a home on the shore because my father-in-law lives here. He's in his 80s. Pete, hello, if you ever see this.
Hi, Pete.
Although I don't know. He's not on YouTube. So
Tell him to look it up.
He doesn't have a Google alert on his name. So okay, perfect. So we were already looking, and the pandemic kind of helped us figure out that we wanted to be here. But I was in casting full time for a long time in the city. So Broadway projects, national tours, TV, film, a little bit of reality television. I
So fun.
I did it all.
You just said Now I want to know everything.
Yeah.
Reality TV.
Yeah, well, I got
We'll
out
have
of,
coffee.
I
I
got
won't-
out,
I won't
I
go
got
into
out of it quickly, and that is a story for another day.
It's a good one, I'm
Right.
sure.
I love watching reality. I don't know if I like making
that's-
reality
Reality.
television.
Intense. Intense.
Although I
It's
have thought
intense.
to myself, God, Asbury has so many great stories. There's a reality TV show there. But yeah.
I think, yeah.
So back to a little bit about that. I had moved out of full-time casting and was doing more selective gigs, and I'd moved to Backstage. And Backstage is, and I was doing business development for them. So Backstage is the biggest acting magazine in the world. So I started making a lot of content from there and helping them kind of produce material that would help them be more appealing to both the producers and directors and casting and the actors,
Oh, wow.
especially during pandemic. And I was like, okay, I love this, but I don't own this ship. I'll never own it, right? So how do you kind of steer your way to do something that you love and that celebrates where you're around? It took me a minute to figure out what that would be. And I saw such white space in Asbury Park to do something really nice, like that kind of celebrates the culture, has the events in there, like kind of chats about what's going on in the theater and the art scene and all of that, and brings it into one spot.
Yes, I love it.
I
think
do
it's-
too, because it's always evolving. There's
Yeah.
always something new happening, or a refresh,
Yeah.
or like a resurgence of something. And like,
Asbury's great for that.
it is.
Right? Like the restaurant.
The reinventing.
It'll just be the same restaurant's been there for 10 years, and then I'm like, oh, we're just going to rebrand.
Yeah.
And then it's new. And it's like the same owner, the same operator, and now it's just a complete, like, mainstay.
Yeah.
Right? It's a
Yeah.
perfect example. They
Mm-hmm.
were Bonnie Reed, and now
Yeah.
it's like this beautiful, I feel like I'm visiting my grandparents in Florida when I go in there. I know, Shannon laughs at me, but I do. It's just all the bentwood furniture and like the color scheme, and I feel like I'm going like to West Palm in 1989, but like
In a
an
great way.
elevated,
Yeah.
yes, like it makes
with
me
palm
feel,
fabric furniture.
yes, and it
right?
makes me
It
feel
is literally a
nostalgic,
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
But to know about it, like to be in the know, is always something. Like we've talked about this with Kate from Mom with Moms. Like to know what's really going on. Like all those stores and boutiques, they all do events all the time.
Yeah.
They're constantly, there's life happening.
Right.
You know?
The live
And
music in all the shops on
Yeah.
Cookman now.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you stay? Like, you must just be
out and about.
all day, every day.
Trying to be out and about as much as possible and having someone else cover it when I'm not there.
That's a good life though, right?
Yeah, it doesn't suck. And
I went, where were we? I went to Cased on Friday. We
Yep.
went next door to Capitol Line,
yeah,
and there she was.
yeah, and I was
On her way to
dashing-
date night.
I was dashing to
She was
something else.
on her way to date night, and I was like, "It's Friday night. I know you have date night."
Date
She's
night.
like, "Yes." I'm like, "Go enjoy."
Yeah,
But there you are, yeah.
my infamous date night. I feel like everyone hears about it.
Well,
But
listen,
it's our
an
standing
Love.
It's an important thing because sometimes
We used to have
you
it
know,
Friday nights. We would always go to the same place, and it
Yeah.
wasn't anything exciting. But I always knew that at the end of the week, there was something.
Mike and I haven't had a date in like,
Well, that was before children,
yeah,
Right.
like months and months.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My baby is this magazine and
Yes.
2 cats. So
Perfect.
we've got date night.
Cats
feel
are
like
great.
You made a smart move.
I mean, if you're ever looking to like do a trade off or anything, like
Yeah,
I'm
right?
okay with it. Although I am allergic to most cats, but I digress. Back to your beautiful magazine, which the cover is iconic, Asbury.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Like to land with that, because you know when you think of Asbury Park, obviously convention hall, but I'm looking more closely at like the saturation of the colors, and it just gives it that like that life that Asbury.
What event did he photograph here?
It's Bonfire.
It is the
Bonfire in the
Oh,
Ditch.
we need to do
I
that this
always
year. I
missed it.
say I'm going to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then trying to get Stacy to go, what is it, during Wednesday or Thursdays?
It's Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do it.
We're doing
There
it.
you
We're gonna
go.
do it.
We're going to
it.
do
We're
it.
Right?
Done.
So tell us, what else do you have in store for your future? Well, first of all, I'll ask you a few questions. How far out do you plan your editions? So like next month, like when did you start planning that? Like months ago?
Yes, although it's funny because this morning, part of the reason why I was dashing to get here on time was that we're in lock from this morning at 9 a.m. So I was in just tweaking a few things,
Okay.
getting a few events that weren't in there before, etc. I'm beginning to pay catch up because I was a one woman show in pre-launch, right? So like, it was just me. I was
That's a lot.
sales and marketing and
Content
starting to think about
and-
content and reaching out to people about being involved as a freelancer, and I had my eye on Connor for a while because I just loved, he does this drone. This is from a
gorgeous.
drone
Wow.
photography, and he also does a lot of stuff on the ground, and I was, all that stuff was all me for a while. So I feel like we're finally, like, I'm into September planning and October planning at the minute.
Amazing. So when do you have
but
to
it'll-
finalize? Like, what's your deadline? Are you a month
I'm
out?
6 weeks out. Yeah. Between 5 and 6 weeks out to be in lock. So if I've missed something, I've missed it.
I feel like we need to learn your ways, right? You're already planning September. We're still planning tomorrow.
Look, spreadsheet,
Yeah.
Spreadsheet.
Yes.
If I could hire a driver, I would have so much time in my day. But you got to be where you got to be. And
Yeah.
so
Yes.
now did you bring on, I mean, other than freelancers, you're still the pretty much one-woman show, right?
At the minute, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
yeah.
Print is a beast. I literally, when Stacy said that we were having our ad in there,
Yeah.
it freaked me out because it's a different ballgame. Like everything you do on our platforms, it's like I hear print and I was like, you better learn this, Stacy, because
We're not doing it.
I don't like it. No, I mean submitting an ad. This was never we're doing any of this. This is a beast of a project. Like you really have your shit together to be able to do
Do
that.
this.
Well, I think there's longer term, because you guys are doing, again, you're swimming in different lanes.
Yeah.
Dovetail really well with what I'm doing,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
with a long-term plan like print, you want it to dovetail really well to a call to action that brings you onto digital, right? Because ultimately, the less friction points for someone to be able to interact with your brand as quickly as possible
Yeah.
is what you want. But you also want to know that you're targeting hyper local, like you're actually getting, especially
Yes.
if you're a shop in Cookman or what have you. Yes, you can ship, but don't you want people to come in?
Yeah,
You-
it's-
of course you do. You have a storefront.
That's
for
how
a
you
reason.
upsell, right?
Exactly.
That's how you get higher dollars when they're there and they're
Right.
drinking the Kool-Aid.
And the experience of you, right? So like everyone buys not from the brand, but from you.
From
Like,
you.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't have
They're
to be a
not going to
boutique
come
on-
into
on
your
Cookman.
shop if they hate you.
Right.
Right.
Right. Or more importantly, they're going to remember that special experience that they had with you.
Correct.
And that's what brings them back.
Yep.
And so, I think that with print, what I'm kind of telling everyone, and I'll, kind of give it away, I'll give the course away for free today, is that it's about, it's about QR codes. It's about, having a really strong call to action that's an offer, that it's an intro offer, right? You only have to do it one time, the first time you shop.
Yep.
I'll give you 15% or, $500 off the full bath set, or,
Right.
there's so many different things that are very relevant to your business, but just think, do I have a call to action that works right now? And what is it? And why?
Yeah.
Right? And then that gets to start playing into your shorter term kind of digital media goals that kind of come up and maybe cycle in and out a little quicker, because that TikTok video isn't going to be good for a month, right?
No, and it's going to drop down.
Right.
It's
Right.
going to drop down, and it
it's the
goes.
layer.
It's
It's the
yeah.
layered
It's
approach.
right.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
sure.
And that's so excited. Well, I'm so excited to work with you, ladies, is because you have that expertise that I don't. And when I have a gap like that, I basically just look to you and Elise all the time
Right.
to be like, okay, well, what do you mean?
Right.
What's
Right.
going on? What should I be doing? So that's why I'm really excited, and also being keyed in to everything that's happening locally. Because
But that's
Moms
reciprocal.
does that too.
Yeah, it's reciprocal. Honestly, like I for the print of it is, like I said, a beast that for me. And I had a stint at Currents. Like I heard the language, I knew the print part of it, but there's a bigger picture comprehension that comes to play in presenting a piece, right? That sits. It has shelf life. It's revisited. It's for other people to like. People are going to see that cover and want to know what's inside.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
real art.
It's beautiful.
It is. It, like putting that together is really an art, and you have a level of sophistication that like shines through, but still super cool.
Thank you. Well, that's the
Right?
idea.
And that's
You
the
wanna
vibe
have
of
this as
Asbury.
a piece of art that sits on your coffee table.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's kind of what every cover
And it
image
is.
will be. It's nice and clean and simple and iconic, and like that'll keep it engaged, you know, they'll keep a reader engaged, which again feeds back to my clients that work with me. Which
Yeah.
is, it's
Yes.
helpful. And then it's funny you say that about kind of evergreen. You know, I put custom partnerships together for people, and often it'll roll in an editorial for like a longer term contract. And, you know, I'm like, we have to sit down and talk about this much longer than our initial conversation, right? Like, I want to sit down with you and figure out, okay, what's going to be helpful to you, because it's digital forever, it's print for now, right? And you want to be able to repurpose that as many times as possible. You want to hand it over to your digital media team and for them to chop it up and, like, you know, make things for you.
Right.
And then you've got not just the advertising, but you've also got, you know, 5 more pieces out of it that you didn't have before. You know, that's kind of what I want these smaller businesses that invest in print. Obviously, I want the phone to ring, but I also want, you know, some additional, I call it marketing collateral, because I'm a nerd. But, but you know what I
used
mean.
the word dovetail,
that.
and I went to a mastermind yesterday, and the woman who was running it, she was in marketing for a long time, and she said dovetail, and I'm like, I think I need to Google this word dovetail, because all these really smart marketing experts are dropping it, and I want to start dropping it.
And they stole it from carpenters because they make dovetail joinery.
Oh,
Right?
There you go.
Yeah, and that's me being a nerd.
I was about
when
to say,
I got my
all
bachelor's
nerds.
degree in interior design, and we learned all about like dovetail and mortise and tenon and all that. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
there you go.
We're all little nerds.
There
here.
you go, girls. There you go.
So now, if we don't live in Asbury,
Oh, good. You stole my
where
question.
can we find your beautiful publication?
All right, so it goes directly into homes and businesses in Asbury. It's 07712 and 07753 are my 2 zip codes that I send into. So you'll get it in the post if you're in either of those zip codes. If you're not, I'm dropping it around prominent businesses in Asbury, so the hotels and cafes. I just started my drop. I'm doing more today.
Amazing.
And then I'm also leaving in Belmar and Avon in some of the coffee shops there, because I feel like
Very smart.
This shore is such a wonderful community. I feel like everyone wants to shop local. Everyone
Sure.
wants to be connected. So in that way, it'll be those places. And then if you're outside of that, subscribe to the digital, and you'll be able to get it in your inbox that way.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
That's really cool.
That's very smart.
It's a digital copy always. Yeah. So
I love that idea.
yeah.
Small businesses get behind each other, so dropping it in like the radius of where I know all the time you hear people is like, oh, I don't have it, but so and so over in blah blah blah. There really is a pride that comes from a brick and mortar Main Street business that they look out for each other, like within their own little space locations.
Yeah.
And then on a larger scale, it energized us. I think that's when I started to feel this like incredible surge from small businesses. And then when we really turned it over into being a small business, like you feel this, like, you know,
It's a camaraderie. It's like
Yeah.
it really
you hold
is.
your shoulders back, like your head
Yeah.
high. You're like, I get it. There are moments when, you know, you have downs, and then when you're on the up, you just
and they
want.
all seem to come together. Like I didn't realize, because we work with a lot of boutiques, and there are a lot of women-owned, female, like women boutiques. I just assumed, because I guess we had been in a different circle last year where it was, well, I don't shop there because it's weird if I go into that shop when I own this shop, and I'm very much like, I don't understand.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get what you're saying here. And now being in Asbury, and now we've met, I don't know if it's an age difference, like we're rolling with like a younger demographic than, I mean, we're in our 40s. So these girls are all in their like late 20s, early 30s. They're actually in like almost support groups to lift each other up as female boutique owners.
One
is
recommended
amazing.
another one for our event in June. That's
Yeah.
how we got cased on Cookman.
Yeah.
Christina. Mauve Shop Sam said, I would really like for her to be a part of this. And we were like, wow. And then we had Soulshine was like, I'm going to bring so-and-so in if they can do it that night. And I'm like, they're bringing the Aura people in. Like, there really starts to be this,
And
like.
who should be their competition?
Right.
Like, you know, Soulshine wanted to bring in a jeweler, and we were like, you sell jewel. Like, it's, but I love it.
Right.
That's what we preach.
Yeah. So it's funny. I have 2 boutiques in the magazine. One's Darcy Park, and I've been wearing a little jumpsuit.
I love Brenda.
Everyone is like telling me how cute it is.
Your
And-
denim one.
Yes, my
Yes,
little denim
I
one.
love that one.
Everyone stops me and asks me about it. And Endless Waves is my other boutique.
Yes.
And I popped into Endless Waves on Friday. She was already closed. I have this black dress I want to buy from her. Anyway, but she was already closed. And I was like, oh, yeah. She was like, where did you get the jumpsuit? And I was like, Darcy Park. And she was like, and I was like, but don't worry. They don't have the same brands as you. And she was like, oh, I'm not worried at all. She was like, she was just so, it's that supportive
love
thing.
that, yeah.
She was like, I'm not worried at all. I was like, well, but I know that because
Right.
you're investing, your marketing dollars with me, and I want there to be as little overlap on the skills and the type of things
Right.
that people are looking for. They both have synergy. I shop in both places. I buy
Yeah.
in both places, but I just loved immediately. She was like, oh, that doesn't matter at all.
No.
but
Right.
I think that there's that's something that I've loved about getting to know the Asbury Park community even more, and the Ocean community, because they're all OSA 7, 1, 2, is just the support level.
Yeah.
Yes, is so
Yeah.
remarkable.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah. And it just makes me want to never shop online.
We talk about that a lot.
It just makes
We talk about it a
I
lot.
wish it wasn't so easy.
Right, I know.
I do, but I do I love going into these boutiques and shopping.
Yeah. Well, and then once you start following those ladies and gentlemen in the business that are online, then they're very activated again. I think, and it's you guys that are doing it with their live shopping and all of
Yeah, I
that
love it.
stuff. And now I am more engaged than ever, but whether they find it through you or when they go into the magazine and they click and they
Yeah.
start following that way, it all activates in the same way. It's just
does.
really useful, all the different kind of dovetailing.
Now we have a new drinking word.
It's the dovetailing.
We haven't said it yet. Now we have a new one.
Nope, not saying it.
We're not saying it. I might say it. You might say it.
Right.
You never know.
never know.
We have a word that
I did
all
that
of a
one on purpose, but
No, I love dovetail. So tell us, this is a question everybody hates, but where do you see yourself in 5 years with the magazine?
yeah. So it's small and mighty. It's around 38 pages at the moment, and by the end of summer, the aim is for it to be around 44 pages.
Okay.
It'll make a perfect bind. It'll be out of a staple, and that doesn't really matter. What's great is that right now the size, no one will be ignored. Everyone will be seen, and everything will be read, and that's kind of part of what
Yes.
I
Yeah, I like
guarantee to
that.
people is that I get your attention for 25 minutes, and everyone's going to see you. But I do want to grow, because the more pages, the more content, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited to make more content because there's just almost too much to cover every month.
Wow.
And so just growing it, and I think we've already discussed. I don't know if it'll be on the Turnkey Media Network, but maybe a little podcast that helps support
Yes.
the local folk down in Asbury. I know there are wonderful podcasts in Asbury also.
Everybody needs exposure.
yeah, they
to
all do a different thing.
Yeah, you're
again.
not. No one's going to be you when
Yeah.
you sit there and talk about what it is or how you say it or what you're presenting.
And podcasts are that is how people are. It's like Shannon doesn't want to read actual books. She wants to listen
I'm
to
driving,
audio.
and I'm blind as a bat now because I'm
No, but I
old.
mean, many people
I
just
hate reading
want
glasses.
I listen to podcasts all the time.
No, I do
all the
too.
time.
That's what I do all the time, and I love informational podcasts. I love
Yeah.
things that are teaching me something about business.
Yeah.
Or something that's local.
Yeah.
I love both of those things.
Yeah.
And I love the funny ones too.
I just downloaded on the way here, literally pressed by as I was getting on the Parkway, a numerology book. And they were going into the numbers with the letters and what it means for your destiny. And I was like, crap, I got to write this down. But
No, you don't, because you can just rewind it.
I can't add in my head while I'm driving.
No, that's probably
Those days are
reality.
gone.
I never had those days.
I used to be able to do long division in my head. And I would test myself. I tried to do it the other day and I'm like,
This is why you like Liam so much. My Liam is like this. Nerd. Oh, I almost knocked her.
wait, weren't you just dropping some dovetailing knowledge? That was no big
That was
deal.
nerdy. That was nerdy.
That was nerdy.
To be fair, that was very nerdy.
Hello, pot. I'm Kettle.
I'm all about being a nerd.
Nerds around the world.
I love it. All right, well,
And-
we're coming to an end here in our time. I don't want to stress out Ethan.
Oh.
He's got a big thing next.
Oh no. worries.
Like a live one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what do you want to plug? Or what do you want? What's your ask? Do you want to tell people?
Oh, that I'm super excited to engage with people regardless of where your marketing budget's at, right? Like, let's
Yeah.
have a chat. Like, anyone in Asbury, there's kind of this kind of old school and new school mentality. I'm one of the newer schools because I haven't been there for 30 years, but
right.
sorry, I was in Northern Ireland at the time.
Well, how dare you live in another beautiful country?
Exactly. So I'm just excited to connect with more people. I've already had such a great reaction from the magazine just being out a few days.
Yeah.
And so I just want to keep making really quality content. And there's multiple spots in the magazine where I say, hey, reach out to us if you want to be in the City Scene page or the Business Monthly. You have announcements. Like, it's not just for my paid partners. It's really for the
The
community.
City Scene page is great.
Yeah. So this month focuses on the Business Expo. I'll give you a little sneak peek that next month, one page is the Center Gala that just happened in Asbury a week ago.
Nice.
Just on Friday there. And then it's a mix of other photos. I won't tell you what they are.
Cliffhanger.
Of what's going on. Dun, dun, dun. So you
be
look forward to
continued.
that. But yeah, really it's just engaging in the community because that's like really what I'm excited to do.
There's so much community. Asbury has such deep roots, such cool things happening. They're always on like the edge of the next it thing, and they're doing it, and you get to enjoy it all. I'm gonna have to live vicariously through you.
Look, you were at the bar the other day too. So when I ran into you,
she
so
always
you might be having a
pretends
great
like-
time.
Pretend
But
like she doesn't
I
have
mean
life.
specifically Asbury. Like, I have such affection for that city that if I could sit at that bar and just watch people
Yeah.
and the
It's a great city.
feel the energy of Cookman Ave, like that's my happy place.
Yeah.
It really is. There is no part of it that I don't go to that I'm not like, I love the boardwalk. I love down by the Asbury, by the convention. Cookman is cool. Madison Ave, Bond Street. Like, there's just so many places and main streets now rising up a bit. So I hope it just continues because
Yeah, there's a big development of shops that are coming in right by Cardinal too. There's like a whole complex.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's great.
I want to see what they're going to do to the distillery and the beer garden. I'm interested to see. It's up for sale or for rent, the building. Zachman's got it listed. I don't know if it's for rent or for sale.
I think it's
though.
for rent.
For rent, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm curious to see. Something awesome has to go in there.
yeah.
and like something that we've never seen. That's like what Asbury is becoming. It's like
Yeah.
what you haven't seen before
Yeah.
and didn't know you need, and now you can't live without.
Yeah,
Right?
It's true.
yeah.
To me, that's
No,
what
I agree. I miss the beer garden. I miss the giant pretzels
I
and the
know.
sausage.
I know.
It's very sad. Very sad.
There's something equally exciting.
I
will
think
come
so.
in.
I think
Yeah.
so. And then you'll be there to cover it.
Exactly.
We'll find out from
Exactly.
the source here. So
Right.
give us all your handles, where people can find you on Instagram, wherever you land your website, everything, so they can find you.
Okay, perfect. So it's Asbury Park City Lifestyle, all one little at, if you
Okay.
will. And my email is Christine, which is CHRISTINE, .Tirella. I cut out I'm a double barrel, and I cut it out for simplicity for email because, oh my God.
That's appreciated.
You
Too
don't
many
need to do
letters,
25
yeah.
letters for my
It's
last
too much, yeah.
So it's Tirella, TIRELLA,
Awesome.
at citylifestyle.com.
And AsburyParkLifestyle.com is where they could find you on the WW web.
Yeah, so it's citylifestyle.com /Asbury Park.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you,
Thank you so
for bringing this beautiful publication and bringing a lot of visibility to so many businesses in Asbury that I know everybody's going to pick this up.
Yay.
And also for giving us the opportunity to partner with you.
Oh, I'm so
That's-
Yeah,
excited.
we can't
so
wait.
excited.
stay
excited.
stay tuned. By the way, talk
Yes.
about a cliffhanger. Stay tuned.
There's
Yeah.
a part 2 to that.
There's
There
a
is
there's a
definitely a part
collab
two.
happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, guys.